Yes, we're here. Okay, so I fucked up horrendously the past month. I had a huge drawdown. I lost money and I missed out on life-changing gains. And I could sit here and bitch about it, but instead I'm gonna continue to get the fuck to work today, work all day. Um I'm not doing anything but work. And we are gonna be doing I'm gonna be Oh, over the next couple days, I'm going to be backtesting every major bottom multiple times. So we'll see how far we get in this session, and that is the game plan. So um, let's get it. Now, yeah, I could bitch and whine and moan, which I guess I'm doing, but I can also work. So here, this is the bottom, and this is where we're going to start backtesting. We don't know it's up from here, but we took an insane amount of liquidity to the downside. If we look at the chart here, we're back in this range. Kind of makes sense to go higher, especially with what ends up happening in the macro. So I'm going to do all my backtesting in the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. I don't get 5 minutes back here. And I'm going to do a couple different, yeah, we'll see where we are now. So I'm interested in long. Didn't get this one. A possible breakout long is interesting. Let's just try this to start. There's going to be plenty of losses. And for all of our trades, we're aiming high. Like we are saying that this is a significant bottom. We're going to go for huge gains. We're going to try to hold on to them. I'm not seeing a gap to under long on a retrace. We could consider looking for shorts in this region when we get there. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. We've broken this trend line. That's okay. Let's back up. I really just want a long trend line break as soon as we take a daily high and say, hey, we'll try to trade inside of this. And this is just one attempt. Shorting this gap might be interesting, but I think we just want to look for longs. Okay. So can't say that that really worked. I'm interested in a sweep of this and expansion to get long. Yeah. Okay. Sweep and expansion. Now let's back up. If I'm awake for this, which I'm not, but if I was, this can be a loss. That's fine. Or, I mean, if I'm awake for this, which looks like it's at 11, I should be awake for it and see it. Then I have an opportunity to at least advance my stop. It goes 3 hours. It doesn't really matter though, because that's not how we're going to win big. Okay, well that's a loss anyways. So we can call. Okay, I have to remember my stop needs to be just inside. Not slightly inside, just inside. Okay. So I'm interested in another inside ladder long. Inside of this one, try to carry it extremely high. Not interested in a breakout just yet. As we get closer to this level, then perhaps we can think about it. Okay, So we did get filled on this. Let's see. Didn't get stopped out. Thesis is correct. I need to hold these trades. Let's back up here to go right here. Now we can be interested in a breakout trade because we have local highs and we have a high up here. So we'll say, as soon as this high goes, we should launch. Our stop should be around the midpoint here. Just over here or something like this. Look, we got stopped out. So I need to reconsider. Or we just try again also. I could take that loss and I could say, all right, let's try again with another breakout of this one. This is sometimes what it's going to be. Try another breakout. With a stop like this. Okay, we're in there. Now, we have two positions that have stuck. This one and this one. And I believe just carrying this up out of the bottoms, just these two, each of them is about 18. Let's back up though. As price moves up, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're still interested in long, so let's try a long in this first major gap. If we lose, we lose. It's okay. We did get filled. Almost perfect. It was sort of a poke the gap opportunity here. If we're able to ride this one up, and it goes much higher, but we aim for higher on these to 10,000. We're looking at 60 ADR. Okay, we got stopped out here. Now, we're still running in these two. It might make sense to trade shorts at the same time. And one of the ones we can do is just trying, which worked, short in here. But I think it makes more sense to trade it like this. Where was that? This was a breakout of, what was it? No, it was an inside long like this. Maybe trying to short in this gap that's forming here. Didn't work. Okay, now right, we have a thesis that we're going higher, but we can trade both ways. So let's back up to over here and say, okay. I would, well, we didn't fill on this one, and I think we can still try it. However, I'm also interested in just a breakout of this and say, as long as we hold one of them to target, it should be good. But this is somewhere we can expect volatility, either up or down. And then also a short. Probably more interested in a break at this level for a short, actually. I think it'll actually make sense to short like this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay. So the short's working. Longing in this gap makes sense now. Our breakout can be lowered. We can still keep that short. Okay, we got our breakout and we got our short. One's gonna work. This one didn't work. So if something's a loss, I kind of want to mark it somehow. Just do it like this. This one's a -1. This one, if I caught it, is just running forever. This one's a +0 or a -1. It ran, but it just came back. Probably a -1, really. Unless I catch it right then, because that happened so quick. No, I had time to get out around break even though. So let's say +0. Okay, we have a -1 on this one. But what is still running is we have a number of positions running to the highs right now. 1, 2, 3, 4 positions running to the highs. -1 on this. This one, I'm just gonna say we're never advancing our stop. This one's a -1. I'm not too sure. Oh, that's this breakout, which is running too. Okay, let's clear off all our lines. I don't know why sometimes my rewind button turns off. Okay, well, we're still interested in a long in here if we get it. I'm becoming interested in another breakout long. Why? Because we have an old level and a new level. I said I want like 4 levels ideally, but kind of like the idea of just trying this. I might have missed as well. Yeah, I'm interested in a long here if this happens. This one didn't never filled, and by the time, oh, actually, yeah, it turned into a -1. That's what happened. Okay, here we have a -1 on this breakout, but it also could be said that that wasn't the best one. Now interested in longing here. And I kind of want to get up to 8,000 before we do another breakout long like that. Okay. I would be interested in a breakdown short, possibly, and probably both, actually. Long, just inside here, aiming higher, and then short, just inside here, aiming lower, which isn't likely to happen, but it's just a hedge. Okay. Up. So this one is a loss. I might be okay with just closing this, but we have so many longs running. Like, where's this breakout? We have a breakout here, didn't hit break even. Maybe it made sense to take some exposure off. If we back up here, we see that there was a poke the gap long. Like, we could try this. And we could also try a poke the gap. And I think if we look at the daily, we're going to see that, no, there isn't a visible gap in the daily. There is on the 4-hour. So let's try throwing a poke the gap along. We might as well just hold this. If it comes back and we get nothing from it, I think we'll be okay with that. Okay, poke the gap. The breakout short did work. I'm trying to use it as a hedge, if anything. Okay. Now, as price is doing this, I'm interested in an inside ladder long like this. This one, what is still running? This one is not still running. These ones from earlier are. This one, even at break even, would still be running. I'm gonna go till 5, and then I'm gonna walk the dog, and then I'm gonna get dinner, and then I'm gonna have another session after dinner. But I love myself, but I hate how the month has gone. I hate how I've performed, and I'm channeling that hate into fucking work. Okay, so we got stopped out of both of them, and this one probably became a break even. But we still have this short running right here. Now, if we get an expansion, okay, this one is going to be a break even. So the short right now is running at +5. I kind of just want to have it run counter to my longs. This one died. The others are still alive. Unless, like, maybe I just closed in this consolidation and then I can rebuild with bigger size in here. That's another possibility. Now that, like, I have a lot of ways to get into a trade now. So I can look at a possible breakout long, possible breakdown. Okay, we were expanding. So what is this here? Is that a losing poke the gap? Is that what that was? No. This was a losing poke the gap. This is a possible breakout long. Right here above this trend line. I know that was a inside. But we could do a eat the gap. Would have worked. Poke the gap. Let's eat this gap. Aiming higher. And to break out short here, I would want to be closer to that. We could do a breakout long right here as well. See, okay, eat the gap. And we could also do a pullback. I think it kind of makes sense to have up in this consolidation, bagged all these profits, and then just start trading with bigger size on the new positions. I think that makes sense. So we have what are all these? +9, +12, +9. So I'm going to mark this as a +30, and then I can just trade these new ones with bigger size to compound. This one as well worked. Yeah, I marked there's 3. I think we had 3 that stuck, and then we have these ones over here. This hasn't never happened. Okay, so we have the way I'm trading right now, everything's a loss except for these +30. So I don't know if I love that, but it is what it is. Also, this one I could have easily not had. But this one as well, like, it's not actually going to be a negative. I could have closed at +5 on this one. Okay. We had a breakout. I'm interested in another breakout long here. maybe just outside the trend line. Okay, this one not stopped yet. It made sense to put my breakout here. Now we're in 1, 2, 3 positions. Boom. We took all that. We could think about, let's back up. So what do we have that's live right now? What is this one? This one is, these ones failed. This one never failed. That was a breakout idea that we have these two. We've got 1, 2, 3 running. So once this is clear, we could think about closing and shorting. But I think if we zoom out, like, it still makes sense to go higher and take this high at the least. And I know we're going up here. Now I'm close these at plus 30, but these new positions can be twice as big as before because we went up so much. So we have 1, 2, 3 new positions, which are quite large. Yeah, rather than close these, it probably makes sense to have looked for shorts in this region when this is happening and say, hey, let's short. The problem is this gap is too large. So it makes sense to, it's just too big. So what we want to do is wait for expansion, and then we could try shorting in here, an inside ladder, and targeting lower. I don't love it, but it's something we could consider. Okay. And it could have made sense to close up there for some of them, closing that consolidation. Maybe it makes sense to, like, bag some profits and then just increase my size on the next positions. Let's assume I'm going to trade like this. I don't actually think I'm going to be holding open positions for months, but this way I can compound with larger size. So once again, though, we're forming an interesting breakout point. So I have a short like this. So we can add another plus 10 here with a larger size. So right now we're at, we've got a plus 40 and we have a negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. Now I'm interested in longs in here. I'm interested in more breakout longs. And I'm also interested in breakdown shorts. Whichever one it wants to be, we will see what happens. So I get filled on the long and stopped out on the long. But price wants to run without me. The short never fills, which is fine. This long never fills, which is fine, although I'm still interested in shorts here. I know I got stopped out, but when I go back to right here, I can mark this as a -1. I'm interested in trying again. We'll get some of these areas just like this. See if we go. Here we do. Again, this is a much larger position than before. I want to see. Okay, a pullback and expansion. and then long from this expansion with a stop loss within this high, that low if we can get it. So far we have. We could take a short if we start to give back some of these lows. Break down short down to here. And then we are once again getting to the point of a possible breakout long to here, something like this. What positions are we in? We're in this one. We have one long running. Okay, so what is this long? Why do we have a long here? Because we were long on this pullback. Okay, well, it's still alive. And then we're gonna go long with the break of this trend line. We just went short on this, although it's possible it made sense to. This is how I was doing it. Short of this, something like this actually. That's how it's supposed to be, right? Okay. So we are in the short. This long is getting stopped out, probably. I'm interested, and I'm happy that all these, I just took profits on these. This long is rocking. We could consider taking that. I'm interested in longing up here, and then there's a breakout that's forming. Might as well let it run and then try longs on the way down too, but long in this region is interesting. Didn't work. -1. Okay, so at this point I'm going to close my short at a +5. I'm interested in longs on expansion right now, on an inside short. Maybe it was available. Like I see this. I'm interested in longing a retracement inside. I'm going to be awake for this. Inside long, whether it works or not, we'll see, but back to the highs. Once we're under here, I can look at a breakout longs possibly. Maybe we get wrecked. A breakout short would be interesting. Okay, now I can be interested in breakout longs and breakout shorts as price compresses. Once again, short like so, targeting down here, and long like so, targeting up along this one, stop side, something like this. Here we go. Okay, we got filled on our long. The short did not, although it can still stay there. And this one is still alive. Also, we did not get stopped out on this one. This one, this is a breakout that never happened. And where was it? We had this long, ended up coming back to us. And for this, I'm just gonna say like everything is no advanced stop loss. And then once I finish this, I'm also gonna log all these. Just the RR. Okay. This one is also a -1. That looks like This one did not work. This one is also a -1, did not work. But the inside has worked so far. Now I'm interested in another pullback, and I'm also interested in a breakout. And all of these, I'm interested in aiming much higher. So we're getting a pullback here. Yikes. So this one, I guess all of them are going to be losses. This is something to be prepared for on bottoms, is can get quite bearish too. This one. Now, I feel good about closing these at this level because we went lower and would have come back towards my entry. And now I'm trading with more size. So since I'm trading with more size, it can allow, it's just have bigger positions. So I have this. At this point, like it makes sense to close this breakout, and probably it made sense to, yeah, it makes sense to close this. I'm looking for any kind of gap that's going to come in. Although really, like anytime this happens, I'm interested in inside long. Once again, aiming for higher. So I think I'm gonna do this, finish testing this bottom, and then log it somewhat, and then take a break, and I'll come back to this later. Some of these. Okay, this inside long, like inside longs are the best, or sorry, yeah, these inside trades. If we break this trend line at any point, I'm just gonna go long. Short, I'm gonna mark this as a loss. There was a possible breakdown short entry as things narrow. I think it doesn't make sense to go much lower than here necessarily. I don't think there's a great target for the short, so I'm just not going to trade it. Although it sucks. Let's back up. Wait, we had what's going on? No one exit replay. I had a long, right, that got X'd out. -1. Now there's a on the inside one. Which, by the way, like if it went 5R in my favor, it's probably not going to actually be a -1, but I'm just going to log like that for this purpose. Now, even though, let's back up. Maybe it just makes sense to trade both sides somewhat. I'm interested in a poke of this gap long as well. Let's be real. This is a good go long zone if we come in here, which we end up doing. And then a breakdown short towards here. And then see what happens. We break down and we take that, and I could take the +4. We get filled on our long. And now if we break this trend line, I'm interested in just longing higher, something like this, which happens. And then we have these two. It makes sense to add on here as we have this consolidation to have another add-on here. And these, we're interested in holding for much higher. Trying not to look at the date here. Okay. This one so far has not been stopped out. No, it did. It got stopped out, just barely, which is fine. This one's a -1. But we can try again. On another flag that's happening. We could also, we already have this. I'm interested in longing a poke of this gap, if that ever happens. And I'm still interested in a breakout long of this trend line. It didn't work for us previously, but maybe it works for us next time. Okay, we got filled, and this time actually got stopped out again. So let's back up. Just barely. So rather than do takebacks, I'm just gonna accept that and say that sucks, but let's try again. Aiming for way higher. So I think we lost 2 in here, so I'm gonna mark -2. Okay, there's filling our breakout. Looks like it might come back to us. Just kind of working through this slowly. We'll try again up here. We can also I don't know that a breakdown along makes that much sense. This one is not stopped out yet, actually. But we could try a breakdown short just into this region. This happens. It's not very far, but could be a nice counter move. Okay. So isn't really working that well right now. -1. -1. This one's still running, and this one's still running. And we did get a +3.4 here. Now, we can wait for expansion. Once again, as soon as this day closes, I'm interested in a long and a retracement with inside. So this one, eventually these will work. This didn't work. And this one stopped out, but we still have these two. So it's a double-edged sword if we sometimes, yeah, I'm just not advancing my stop. Okay, so we got filled. I'm also interested in a long like this if this happens. This is a long slog of a year, right? This doesn't feel like a real quick off the bottom. I'm not really interested in a short here. There's just not enough liquidity. Feels like it's to the upside. So we're in this long. We're in those two longs over there. We're gonna do a long. Mark this as green so I can see it. I'm looking at price coming into this trend line. I definitely want to. Okay, this one didn't fill, but I can still consider it. I'm interested in several longs. I'm interested in a breakout long here. Now, and I'm also interested in a pullback long here. So we'll see what happens if anything. So we took a loss here. This one hasn't filled. I think it might be working better if I didn't use the trend line, but a little bit past the trend line. Definitely a wider stop would have saved me multiple times on these. Okay. So now we had a -1. This one is running. I have 2 running over here. And I have a third running over here. And the next main target is above these highs. Like we take these highs, then I will close, and then we can reevaluate. So let's go. We can try again, and we can also try some breakout shorts. It would have been interesting to long a poke in the gap right here, actually. I wouldn't mind. I kind of like doing both a breakdown short and a breakout long, just in case it doesn't really work out how we're hoping. Okay, see what happens. Breakout does work, we're in. Breakdown. But there's this gap, so it's maybe not the greatest. Now it's getting more interesting. Another possible long up to here. I don't know why I get the sense it's gonna break out, fake down, and then go higher. But let's just see. But I'm allowed, yeah, it's gotten tight, so I can use a wider stop. Up we go. And then we hit our target, so we can close everything and we can recollect. So we have a +15. We've been holding these entries forever. +15. I want to see both of them. +20, +15, +35. This one held. Nope, this one actually stopped out. Probably wider would have been good on a lot of these. Like this is supposed to be, actually no, I moved this one around. I'm pretty sure this one was good because the stop's supposed to be just inside of here. So we're closing up above these highs. It's fine. So this one is a +23. So this one, we have 1, 2, 3 more. We have a +10, a +4, and a +3. +10, +4.6, and we have a +3. And this goes for fucking ever. It's not over. So now, even if we're going higher, like we can compound by having a much larger position. So now we're looking up to 10.6 as the next possible target. I'm interested in longing a retracement into the 8,000 area. And now we're doing this with much larger size than we started as we compound. Let's back up. At this point, this is a good poke the gap opportunity. We should poke this gap, and then if we poke this gap and expand, we can trade inside. Stopped out, which I can mark it. We should poke this gap, and the stop should allow for that whole gap, though. Okay, now we should also, as we move up, once again, along in here, retracement with the stop just inside of here, and aim higher, and see, will we get filled? Will that day be respected? So far it is. It might not. And we're building liquidity above again. But I kind of want to see like a little more tightness first. At this point, a short in here might make sense. Down into here, not a huge trade, but it could make sense. And then there's maybe not enough for a breakout long. Okay, we didn't get filled on this, or at least not yet. We have two long positions running again. With this system, it's not hard to get in. Okay, we still haven't broken down. Although I feel like I may have taken a loss here, possibly. No, here's the way I want to run breakouts is here, and the stop should be below this trend line, and we aim much higher. Yeah, especially if it's a 2% stop, we can have our stop like be right inside this line. So we can break out, pull back, and interesting, stopped out on this one. And stopped out on, we're in this breakout. The breakout's running. It's coming back to both of our entries here. Okay, now let's back up. Once again, I'll just like this one running to my stop loss in case we hit, so it can cover for those wins. We have a sweep and expansion away. Here's another inside long add-on. And I'm expecting now 10,000. Maybe 10,800 is, we should aim up here. This is a huge liquidity area and we can go back for it. Let's back up. Here we get to break out long again. We can also break down short. The long should look like, if this day is taken, we should just rocket higher. My stop can be in here. If this low is taken, we might come back into here, and I just want to pay for my losses here. So we went higher, didn't get filled on the short, and we are moving higher. So the shorts that I'm only taking breakdown shorts. And those have worked okay. We could do a pullback long again, aiming up here. We're approaching our destination, so it kind of makes sense to do another breakout long up here as well. And kind of want more liquidity before we break down short. So that one fills. Wow, everything got stopped out on a loss. All right, so what happened is not okay right now, because these leveraged positions, I mean, I can mark everything as a -1, but we were running at 17, 24, 40. I mean, we were running at insane risk reward. So if all these stop out, like it's not okay. Have to wake up at one point and say, maybe if this trend line breaks, we need to close on account of it will probably come down this is a -1. It will probably come down all the way down here, which is below all our entries. So we can mark this as a +7, +3. If I think this is, I don't know if I think this is dishonest or what, but that's a learning moment right there. +7, a couple -1s, +9. This one +1.56. And then yeah, that's a quick +8. Now I'm not prepared with longs down here, but what we can do is as soon as we expand, once again, I can go long in here with my stop inside of this day. And we still didn't hit our main target, so let's aim for that. And we can look for breakout longs. Okay, we got our inside long and expansion, and it looks like we maybe will get stopped out, which is okay. We're starting to have liquidity build again, but I would say the liquidity is to the upside. So now we have 2 local levels and a couple old levels too. We've got this trend line here, and I'm becoming interested in longing a break of this trend line, maybe this one with a stop in here, and our next stop is 10,000. I guess something like this. Again, prepared to try multiple times. Okay, we got there. Retracement pullback in this region. +8 on this short. What was this one? Is a -1. Like that. This one's a -1. This one never filled. Okay, so we have a pullback, and then when and if we pull back like this, okay, we didn't quite get filled. I'm interested in a long breakout long up to here, something like this. Okay, let's see. Okay, I got filled on this one. There was maybe a breakout short that I wasn't paying attention to. Want to see another day form? Okay, so now we can consider a breakdown short. If we lose this, maybe we go back down here. We're currently in, once again, 3 positions, just aiming for this 10,000 area. And then once we're up here, we can close again and then reopen with larger size. I like longing in here. I also like another breakout, which I had right here actually. And right now it's filling. -1 on that one. It's okay. Our breakdown short. And once again, try another breakout long into here, from here. Okay, see what happens. Once again, -1. We got filled on this, and it's running. This one got stopped out. These 2 are still running. I have this to pay in case these get stopped out, but these break out long still quite interesting, but I'd maybe like price to get a little bit higher, like into this rung here. And we'll see as we get closer, but yeah, I'm still just interested in this 10,000 area, trading towards it. We back up here. We have a major liquidity sweep once again. I like the idea of this is an opportunity for another inside trade with tight invalidation up to here, which we get filled on. And then we can take another break down short if we start to lose the level. Down to here, I'm still in a short. And I have this long. Kind of want it to be above this gap. We have not been stopped out on that, but we took our breakdown short. See what works. Okay. This is the -1. And this is a -1. And this is a -1. And we're still on this one. So, I mean, once again, I think there's a lesson here of taking earlier profits and compounding. I like the idea of that rather than just going for these home runs, because it did go. They only won a couple R in our favor. Well, we have 2 shorts now, and we could do one more breakdown short too. It's not necessarily that interesting for longs yet. A breakout long could be quite interesting. Breakdown short is getting more interesting. Just into this area. One or the other. Okay, we're expanding. Take the loss on shorts. This is not exactly how I would trade. I would, like, we go this far, I'm gonna at least advance my stop to break even. But it's close. Okay, I'm still like, we're going to 10,000. This one's stuck. We have this one. I'm interested in a couple different longs. It's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna wrap up soon here. As soon as we get to 10,000, I'm done. And I'm gonna log it. We take this, we're going higher. -1. We're so, no, like, some point we're gonna break out. Just keep launching. There. And we can long a poke of this gap now. Just aim up to here. Well, at this point, let's back up. When we take this major target, and we fall under it, makes sense to advance our stop, or it's only a measly +3. Either advance our stop or just close. +3, +3, +5, +3, +3. Would it have been better to just hold the initial positions? Maybe, but the thing about that is, would the initial positions have, once again, anytime this happens, long inside here. That's still aiming for 10,000. The initial positions might not have worked. Working through this. Just gonna apply price action until we hit 10,000 and see. Breakout didn't work. Breakout's not really been working. Another. Okay, yeah, I mean, something sort of different would have worked in this area. It's a long ranging. Feels like we've been ranging for a long time. Kind of just want to see when do we ever hit 10,000. All this liquidity here. Haven't really had a strong trend in a while. There's the breakout. Is when we get to like record tight volatility. To say, okay, this was the position where we go long. We break this right here. Now we trend to 10,000, and that's our 1220 or whatever it is. Like it's a long wait. So what do we learn? Like it makes sense to compound. Okay. So I'm gonna log this quickly. I'll take 30 minutes. Then we go walk the dog for sunset. Then I do dinner and then I backtest another bottom. So okay. BTC bottom. Full platform. Okay. I'm not gonna log the exact dates and everything. I just want to log. It's all Bitcoin. We have a 0, then what do we have? We have a 12. Okay, we're gonna just go through a 0, 12, a 9, a -1. Uh, 0, 12, 9%, -1%, and then another 9%. I'm gonna do this every fucking day until I'm out of drawdown. Is this fun for me? No, but it has to happen. Is this how I want to spend my time? No, but it has to happen. And then I have a 0 and 2 -1s. And then I have 5, 6. Oh, this one is a +5. I don't know why I can't see that somewhere. So we have a 0 and then 1. No, this actually is a win. Like, what's going on here? A 0, a +5, a -1, a -1, -1. So 0, 5, -1%, -1%, 0, 5, -1, -1, -1, -1, -1. This is a loss, this is a loss. We have a +5. -1, -1, +5, -1. And this one, a 4, a 5, a 3, and a -1. 4, 5, 3, -1. These are the ones that were 4%, 5%, 3%, -1%. And we have another -1. Not too sure what happened with this breakout here. Let's see, okay, -1. No, this one was, I already marked that. -1, +5, and then a bunch of losses in a row. -1, +5, 5%, and then we have a bunch of losses in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This one worked. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why this is a -1 because that looks like a win, but I'm not going to mark it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses, and then a +4%. 2, 3, 4, 5, +4%. And this one we have 20, 15, and 20, 2015 -1, 20%, 15%, -1, -1, no, 20, 15, -1, -1, +3, and then a +23, +3, 23. And then we had 10 and 4 and 3, 10, 4, 3, +10, 4, 3, 10%, 4%, 3%. We have a +7 long. We got a +7, +3, and then 2 -1s. 7%, 3%, -1%, -1%, 9, 1, -1, 8, 9%, 1.5%, -1, 8%. Then we have a +3, -1, -1, 5 -1s, +3%, no, 3%, -1%, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have another 1, 2 losses, and then a +3, +3, and a +5. 3%, 5%, and we have -1, and then I kind of quit at this point. Okay, so do it like this. So yeah, price didn't even double, it roughly doubled, and we had a 4 or 5x by capital. It's better to compound, basically. I think. Like, what if this first one was just held up to 10,000? Oops. Why is it doing this? 27. Yeah, it's probably better to just compound. Yeah, because we're entering with bigger size after. All right, let's mark when was the first trade was March 15th, and the last trade was June 20th. So we have March 15th, 4/15/20, and then I said June. It's June. So June is January, February, March. January, February, March. March is the third month. March, January, February, March, April, May, June is the sixth month. So this was only in about 3 months. We took 55 trades, which is pretty good. So win, I gotta mark whatever was a win is a win. See what our win percentage is. From there, we can get our risk reward. Not a loss. Or expect to be a little bit less than 50/50. No, I had a winning record here, 57%, with an 8-to-1 risk reward. Yeah, but obviously I knew what was going to happen, so I don't need to pretend like. Yeah, because since we compounded instead of just holding these initial ones, the initial ones we could have doubled, but we got 100% gain. But because we compounded, some of these wins at the end were quite big, like $100,000 win. Yeah, a couple big winners. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Spending the weekend backtesting every major BTC bottom using break pivot longs, retracement longs, breakout longs, and breakdown shorts. I just feel like breakdown shorts are the most reliable. Um, from back testing the March 2020 bottom, I'm finding that closing that closing at major levels was superior to trying to hold all the way to the highs for two reasons. Okay. March 2020 breakdown. Is pivot longs, retracement longs, breakout longs, breakdown shorts. There was generally too much liquidity overhead to try for pivot shorts. Retracement shorts probably would have worked okay, but I didn't try them here. I chose to use breakdown shorts as a hedge for longs because usually when the trend line broke and long liquidity started to be grabbed, price starts moving towards my long stop losses, and it makes sense to hedge short there. There were several extremely large, there were many dips and several extreme liquidation candles where having breakdown short orders worked well. I typically did not advance my stop losses, but it made sense to exit all longs at key levels, rather than trying to hold to new highs, because sometimes price would reverse and take out a major consolidation. And all long positions built over weeks would be nuked. I'm also not interested in holding a bunch of longs for many months. I'd much rather close and look for new positions behaviorally. I know this about myself, and closing and opening new positions worked out superior. Closing all longs and looking to reopen. Also was superior because it allowed for compounding positions and much larger positions on later longs. So it's okay to close everything at a key level and look for more trades, which this system gives many. I also like closing all and taking profit at key levels because it's not clear when the trend will actually reverse. In this way, you get a big win whenever that is. I think I had just one more point. Yeah, okay. 55 in March, April, May. I got about 55 trades in 90 days, just trading BTC. So for trading ETH, it would be about 110 trades in 90 days, which I like, which seems good for variance smoothing and helps to and allows trading smaller size and compounding huge. Going to be backtesting 2018 bottom, 2021 bottom, 2023 bottom, and earlier bottoms. Binge working right now. Stay updated. Okay. Here we go. Backtested March 2020 bottom. Key findings, strategy, pivot longs, retracement longs, breakout longs, and breakdown shorts. For hedges, no pivot shorts or retracement shorts, although retracement shorts look like they would have worked okay. No advanced stop loss. Close all at major level. Closing all at major level was superior to trying to hold for the highs for a number of reasons. A few times price had major retracements, wiping out long consolidation levels, and weeks of longs would vanish if profits not taken. Well, initial positions would have lived to the highs. We didn't know that, and profits from earlier positions could be used to finance larger risk later, making the return of the later positions much bigger. Wasn't clear when trend would end, so happy to take profits as key levels. What else? Trading. The system produced 55 trades in 90 days, just trading BTC, trading ETH as well would produce 110 trades, all limit orders with a little management seems reasonable. Risking 1% seems good. Reasonable. Yeah. Well, it rallied hugely off the bottom. It went pretty slowly on a day by day, and there were many major retracements. Yeah, sometimes it took a while for price to make it to the next level. Okay. Let me go walk the dog now. Okay, let's look at where price is currently. So I like the idea of a retracement long still. I think it's fine. And then if price does this, I can do my first breakout and breakdowns. Again, the only shorts I'm going to take are breakdown shorts for now. Yeah, and then any kind of aggressive move, the inside retracement is like the best entry. But I need to be aware that this is a major level that could be taken as well. So let us, yeah, it makes sense to me for price to come into here. But yeah, I will become, if price stops here and falls, I will be interested in breakout longs developing. But for now, this is fine. Okay, let's move on. Peace.